Hi, and welcome back. I know it's been a while since our usual talk, but we're doing something a bit special this time. I am joined by the creator of Skelly, Kayla Davis, who I've had on the show a few times before. Kayla, want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, it's me, Kayla. I know you hear my little videos where I'm always like, "It's me." It's me, Kayla. I'm the creator of Skelly. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Yeah, you've been on here a few times before. Last time, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but last time we did a whole Beetlejuice retrospection talk. I was in full Beetlejuice cosplay with makeup and green hair and all that.
We
I thought of
did.
dressing. Yeah,
And
I thought of
after
dressing.
that, I finally watched it. I finally watched the first Beetlejuice, and then I also watched the second one.
Mhm.
And now I can actually report back that I don't like them. Is that weird?
It confirmed your bias. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like them. I don't like them.
It's all good. But yeah, I wanted to dress up this time, but I've been a bit busy. I've been growing out my sideburns because I'll be doing Wolverine for Halloween. But for now, here's my Charlie outfit from Smiling Friends. This is the most I'm doing.
Well, I got Derpy Tiger from K-pop Demon Hunters, so that's about all you'll get from me.
They also got
I
my
got Skelly Crew.
nice. Yeah.
Yes,
I'll get Skelly Crew merch eventually. I think, but for now, this is the closest I have a skeleton mug.
yes, yes. And everybody else on the call is part of the skeleton crew.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, why don't you go around and introduce yourselves? Kelly, do you want to go?
Hi, sure. I'm kind of more new to the crew, but I've I'm the I guess the in-house veteran. I've been in animation for over 15 years,
Mhm.
mostly for Disney TV animation, and I'm just happy to be part of this this indie movement that's happening, and I hope that you I can share my skills with your production.
Mhm. Oh, there
and
we go.
she has been a godsend. She has saved our butt with some fires. So thank you, Kelly.
Mhm. Yeah. Viv, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm Bibi. I am an animator on the project, board artist technically, and also consistency lead for the project. So I'm happy to be here. And this is my first studio job. So excited.
Yay! And we're happy to have you. Oh my gosh, if I didn't have you, oh, what would I do if I didn't have you?
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Is that from the not Don Bluth? Is that from an animated movie?
I think that's from All Dogs Go to Heaven, maybe.
Okay, I was thinking
No,
of like Camelot or something.
yeah, I can't remember. Stuff just randomly pops in my head sometimes.
No, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, it happens a lot. Lakira, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lykyra
Okay.
Porter, and I'm a voice actor for Skelly. I played the lead, Sarah, and I've been voice acting for like 6+ years.
Damn.
You can hear me in Skelly. You can hear me in Animation Station by Shockwave Animation, The Three Tones, Towards Galaxy's End, and a lot of other indie projects.
Oh yeah, Three Tomes recently had its pilot
Yes.
anime pilot come out yesterday. I saw that. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. It's
She,
fun.
she's
You should
our
check it
little
out if
Cree
you haven't seen it
Summer.
already.
Mhm.
So I've heard.
She's our little indie Cree Summer. She's just in about
Oh
everything.
yeah.
And I was very surprised when I saw her demo reel come across my desk. I was like, what? And we've
You
also
flatter,
hung
you
out
flatter
at
me
some
so.
yeah, and we've also hung out at some conventions. So
Mhm.
I know Lakira very well. So
Nice.
well, not super well, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Lakira, did you audition to be Sarah, or did you get approached, or?
I'm pretty sure I approached, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. Yep. I saw Skelly floating around on Instagram. I was like, ooh, what's
Mhm.
this? Let me just slide my demo. And then she sent me some stuff to audition for,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I got it.
Yes.
It was funny because I was nervous that I wasn't gonna get it because I was like, I feel like I have a baby voice. I don't know if I can play a 30-something-year-old.
And
Not a
I was
baby voice, but like young adult voice.
Mhm.
right, and I was
Yeah.
nervous because this is my very first time. I didn't even know how to put out a casting call or anything. I was just like Skelly, and then everybody was like, "Let me know if you want an audition, 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 audition." And I was like, "What's happening?"
Hundreds of emails you'll get
Yeah,
if we do in
yeah,
bulk. Yeah, that's why I like to keep stuff concise.
yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't even like I was putting out a call. Like I just put out just the art, and then like I didn't know that people would then start hitting you up, like because I had never done this before. I just put
Yeah.
out art, and then people were like, "Well, let me know if you ever need some characters," and I was like, "Well, I will need character voices," so I
Yeah.
just rolled with it. I was like, "Let's go."
Oh, I got a Rolodex right here with just like voices I have planned for like small, like shorts and horror projects in the future. Though speaking of, right before we get into Skelly, I just want to ask Kyla, what have you been watching as of late? Anything you're looking forward to in the animation or just movie scene or just like art in general?
Oh my gosh, what have I been watching? As far as animation, Chainsaw Man. We had
Mm.
started it once before, and couldn't watch it because my son was always in the room. So
One of those I
definitely
know.
not appropriate for kids. And I'm watching the one that I can't pronounce. Gachakukukuchiku was what I always call it, but legit trash. Um,
Is that the one with the?
Gachiakata.
Oh,
yes,
gotcha. Yeah.
yes. I'm always like Gacha Gicha Cuckoo Chiku is on.
I gotcha.
But as far as animation, that's what I've been watching. Real life, I decided this year I was going to start watching scary movies because not into scary movies. So real life, we've been watching Alien Earth since I've gone through the Alien prequels. So now we're watching Alien Earth, and what I am looking forward to, definitely Three Tomes, which came out yesterday. It was amazing. What else am I
So
looking forward
just
to?
we'll put that in at the end.
Yeah, definitely. What else am I looking forward to besides Skelly? Because I need to sleep. So I guess that's it. I
Yeah.
definitely want to see the new Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein.
I actually saw that yesterday in theaters.
Oh, was it
So
nice?
good. Yeah, so good, so beautiful and gross. And like, think of like if the Gothic poetry met Willy Wonka. Like that's
Okay. Okay.
in terms of just the color and just the beauty in there. It's so good.
Okay. I kind of felt like they were trying to do that with what was it called? Beautiful Things
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Jennifer
Well, you
Lawrence.
got kids. You can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We started
No
watching it
point.
and didn't
Mhm.
know that it was going to go that way. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that in theaters too, and I think that's the second most people that's walked out of a theater. Like a lot of older people who thought this was just going to be a cute romance story.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not. I mean, it
No,
was, but it was not.
yeah, yeah, it was that and the substance. But as we mentioned before earlier, we do have something to discuss. A very for those of you who may not know, we are talking about the hit show. Oh, let me just pull it up. I know. I remember how to do this. Sorry, it's been a good few months since I posted.
Hey.
Skelly, the hit show,
Woo!
upcoming indie short, which has already been funded on Kickstarter, has gotten so much praise, has been to like film festivals. And can you just give us a very brief introduction into Skelly to people who may need a refresher course?
Oh my gosh. Skelly is about a 30-something-year-old graphic designer who is experiencing burnout in all aspects of her life. And then all of a sudden, she realizes that there's a skeleton that runs a dive bar in her closet. So that's like the elevator pitch of it. But through the whole series, we get hijinks of her dealing with the skeleton in her closet, and no one believes that she has a real skeleton in her closet. They're all saying it's a mental thing and stuff. So we deal with her, dealing with Skelly, dealing with life, and then there is a very big twist that I cannot give away, so I have to shut up now.
Very good. Yeah, the thing that grabbed me about this project, well, two things mainly. One, pun of skeleton in closet, wonderful, love that. uh, I remember also, I think the first time I saw that was Scary Godmother, the book and uh, movie, because that had a skeleton in his closet. But also, you're the main character. Sarah is, as you kind of previously mentioned, her a 30-year-old burnout, dealing with like depression and like mental illness and like stuff like that. Just
Yep.
that really grabbed me because in the indie scene, not that I don't love a lot of these projects, but it's like they're usually like in their early 20s or like sometimes like teens with this kind of story. Why'd you want to go with such a like older character for Sarah?
I wanted to do that because, like you said, in any animation, we're either dealing with young children or we're dealing with someone who's in their 19s or 20s, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted something that people could relate to, and definitely something that I could relate to. And a lot of people nowadays are over their 20s. You know, some people are still in their 20s. Oh my God, bless you guys. Have fun in your 20s. Um, but I wanted something for people who were over their 20s, maybe going into their 40s like I am, and I wanted something that they could relate to, and a character that they could see themselves in, and definitely getting older and having a mental illness, people don't quite understand how tough life can be to navigate when you have a mental illness. They just say, oh, she's just depressed or she's just like this all the time. So I wanted to give somebody out there, everybody out there, just a character that they could possibly relate to and could see themselves, you know.
Yeah, and clearly, like this has had a fan base because, as you mentioned, both they're like very, very talented team, but also like the people it's got it funny on Kickstarter, and just like how much it's developed since its like early days of just like have you like the growth of Skelly and its like creation of it. Was it something you expected to get like as big as it was, or?
No. Oh my gosh, no. At first, I wasn't even going to do it. I was like, this is one of these little stupid ideas that I have off to the side. I used to do web comics, and I was going to start doing just a little stupid web comic here and there, just of it. But then I realized, I went to school for animation. I don't want to do web comics anymore. I want to do an animation. So I like hiked up my boots, hiked up my big girl panties, and I said, let's do this. And no, I did not think a lot of people would jive with it or find themselves in it. So that's very surprising to me that I do have a following. I mean, I like the fact that I have a following. Please don't unfollow me. I like the fact that I have a following, and I like the fact that I have a team that can handle that. And Lakira being the titular character, they were all fans of this, so all of it is very new to me. I think anybody in indie now, with how the landscape is, everyone strives to be Lackadaisy or Bibsy Pop with Has Been Hotel. And while those are milestones that I definitely want to hit, my path is not going to be the same as theirs. Like everybody's path is not ever going to be the same. So, did I think it was going to be this big? No. Am I glad that it's this big? Yes. Do I want to get it bigger? Always. Do I want to be out there? Yes. But I'm not going to have the same path as Has Been or Lackadaisy. And not to say that their path is bad. It's just different from mine.
Yeah. So speaking up, I did want to ask your team some of these questions of because as you mentioned, you have a very wonderful, talented team, all in like the Skelly Discord and all of that. And it's so cool to see like you so interactive with both your team and just the people who support Skelly in general. I would like to ask like Kelly and Vivi of just like what kind of like got you into Skelly? Was it just like this looks cool? Did you get reached out, or was it just like, or do you just wanted more experience, or?
I think the thing that really brought me into it was like what you were talking about, as like seeing an older character go through the milestones of her life, and then realizing that like the job that she's in is not satisfying, or like that kind of drew me in, because again, you see most of these like coming of age type of stories, and it's nice and refreshing to see somebody go through some of like the mental challenges that a lot of people go through but don't talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same. This was, I think it was around July of last year when I was coming out of, I had previously worked on Class of '09 as my first like contract gig. And then I said, oh man, I really want to work with indie projects. Like, I want to work with something that isn't as big, someone that needs my help, someone like me that I feel like could use my skills because I'm self taught and I'm an indie supporter all the way. And I'm also of color. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
when I saw Skelly and I saw Sarah, I saw kind of me because I'm in my 30s. Now I'm like also dealing with a lot of stress of like life changes and choosing new career paths and all these crazy things. So, I could see myself and also the mental health aspect. And also Kayla being so wonderful and kind and caring about the actual indie scene itself and other creators as well in the indie sphere trying to make their way into animation. So all of that just like made me so excited for the project, and I've been having a great time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look, I want to ask you a question just because I've seen your demo. I've seen the characters you've played. They're also bright voiced and they're also like energetic. Uh, was it like a challenge at all to voice Sarah, giving her more like melancholy, kind of over it, tired vibe, or was that like a kind of like a fresh change of pace?
Pretty much a fresh change of pace because I am typecast as like more bubbly, high energy characters. It wasn't hard to get there though. I can channel a little bit of like some things that I feel off and on about like, mental health. So I can just like bring that into Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't too hard, but it was a nice change of pace. I was like, okay, finally, I'm finally out of the typecast.
Yeah, no, I get that feeling. I'm so nervous whenever I approach voice actors. And my friend Savvy, who does so much work for me, she's so good. She does Rose, she does Rapunzel, and like she'll always do side voices for me. I was so like, uh, she talked to me something similar too of like when you have a certain voice, people want you to do that voice over and over again. And she's like, what like she's like, I'm glad I get to play more extravagant characters now as opposed to just like the nice mom character.
Yeah, it happens often. I'm like, I mean, it's my bread and butter, don't get me wrong, but it's nice. It's a nice change of pace.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. And Kayla, I gotta ask, like, other than like kind of the because you mentioned like because you started with web comics, but you wanted to change one. How did you see Skelly, both like the characters and the series itself changed as you developed it?
Well, I think, and I say this in a lot of the panels I do at some conventions, Skelly started off as just a running joke that I did at work. So it was just going to be a gag a day, put it in a newspaper type of thing, a gag a day. And just like a web comic, we could kind of do like a gag a day for that. And then I realized I'm building more characters as the joke kind of went on. It was adding more characters that I used to work with, or adding characters that could be pushed in there, and we were building a world. And so that was a huge change for me, and that was like a huge light bulb that went off in my head, where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm building a world. This
Mhm,
this could be an animation." And at that point, I pivoted, and I said, "You know what? Let's make this an animation. This is good enough to be an animation. I think we got legs here." And so that was a big pivot. And then I just started to just grow everything from there. I already had all the characters because all the characters in here, legally I'm supposed to say, are not represented by for anybody that's real. And if you think that you're in this, you're not. So legally I'm supposed to say that, but
yeah,
I had all the characters there. You know and so it was a I had a world that I could build off of, and I had a good story. So
mhm,
I like to say I had good bones.
Yeah, I love that. I love it whenever there's like a series or that like clearly start off as like an inside joke between people, and kind of like as time goes on, like you almost like as an audience member, you almost feel like you're in the joke in it itself, with with the creator. But also,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking of, you've mentioned a few times before, you have like actual a few historic figures in this, like and
We have
what
Anne,
is it?
we have Joan of Arc, we have Frederick
Mhm.
Douglass, we have Bonnie, we have Clyde. We have a lot of historic characters in there. Jack the Ripper, and he's represented in a very different way than most people would see him.
Mhm.
Everyone thinks that he's this debonair serial killer, and I've made him a man child, and he loves being with his mom. That's all he wants to do. He wants to go on a date, but he wants to talk about his mom on a date. So
I love
we have a
that.
lot of historic characters, but they're just portrayed in a different way, and just a way
Mhm.
that I thought was funny. Kind of a la Clone High. And I might
Mm.
be dating myself. It's Clone High, but then not with the Mahatma Gandhi controversy.
Yeah. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. It's just
Yes, yeah,
there's so
nothing
many
bad.
quotes and things in my head. Just, how about ADHD? Am I dying? Just
Yes, ADHD. You get it from toilet seats. I know everybody else on this side of the of the chat is like, what are they talking about? Go watch Clone High if you haven't. At least the first season. The second season wasn't so great, but at least the first season is
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Interesting, and just like the amount of people that were in the second season. It was very digital anime. It's a very new kind of adult anime show, which is like that. It has its fan base and stuff like that. Let's speak up. That is also something that attracted me to Skelly. Is like definitely the more laid back, like macabre sense of humor here. Is that something you like? Is that something that you kind of just developed for Skelly, or is like? Do you think have you always had like a macabre sense of humor, like a bit of a dark sense of humor?
I have a very dark sense of humor. I think Lakira can attest to that. When we were in Vegas, I have a very dark sense of humor, and sometimes people are very concerned for my well-being. But believe me, it is all just very funny. I like tell the story about when I got pregnant,
Mhm.
and didn't want to get pregnant, wasn't expecting to get pregnant, told the lady that she was wrong, told the doctor she was wrong, asked where I could get a second opinion. And then, like, I used to work at a print shop, and everybody would always find me, and I'd always be in the stairwell, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, just making plans, and everybody was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "It's a joke. It's a joke. Oh my God." I mean, so I've always had this dark sense of humor. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Mhm.
Sometimes I get HR called on me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good."
Were there any like shows or movies that, as a kid, like influenced like your sense of humor notably?
Definitely Beetlejuice, the animated series.
We've talked
Batman.
about this before.
Yes, Batman the animated series, definitely. Clone High was a big influence, just as far as like having the historical characters. There's so many SWAT cats. I like the slickness of SWAT cats, which is coming back. Oh my God, can't believe it. So
Cats.
there's Ronin Warriors. There's so many things I used to watch. Definitely like Oran Host Club. There's some romance in there. There's some Office, Jim and Pam type
Mhm.
stuff in there. So it's all in there. So many things that I've watched, they're all incorporated into it because this is literally me living out my life through this story.
If you are curious of our previous Beetlejuice talk, oh, I look lovely in that. Kyla was on very likely last year. We talked about Beetlejuice the musical, the show, the uh, the movie, and just the pop culture influence of Beetlejuice in general. And it's so cool because seeing like also because the cartoon's actually kind of getting a bit of a resurgence as of late due to how popular the musical was. Uh, like was there also like any animation influence you took from Beetlejuice notably? Because the cartoon had a like very it was that era of like pre-Courage the Cowardly Dog, where it's like it used mixed media and used horror, and it was a bit more out there than like your standard cartoon, especially cartoon for kids.
Right, right. So I think definitely the relationships Sarah and Skelly have are definitely like Lydia and Beetlejuice. So I definitely took that from it. And if you look at the theme song, at the end of the Beetlejuice theme song, you know, they go together and they laugh. That is literally the end scene in the Skelly theme song where they're on different sides. They've interacted and they're on different sides now. So definitely took that. I still want to see the musical. I met Alex Brightman. He is a dreamboat.
Yeah,
Love
He's
him.
amazing.
yeah, he's so talented.
He's so sweet and nice. So I told him when I met him, I said, I didn't get to see you in Beetlejuice. And he was like, you didn't, and it's your fault. And I was like, I know. You know, so I want to see the Beetlejuice musical just because I do like musicals. Skelly is not a musical for
No.
anybody out there. Not a
Yeah.
musical. We might have a fever dream episode where Sarah is having a fever dream and there is kind of singing, but definitely not. I know that's a big thing now where people want to do musicals, and I just don't have it in me.
I want to do musicals. I know enough about musicals to critique them. Not talented enough to make my own music. Just
Right. I just don't have it in me, and I don't have like someone to write songs for me. So, I mean, I do have people writing music for me, but I don't have people to write songs for me like Sam Haft or, you know, anybody like that.
yeah. Were you because even though he's not here, Jay, who voices Skelly, were you when you were doing auditions for Skelly, like what kind of were you picturing, like, hey, do an Alex Brightman-esque voice, or were you like kind of doing like, hey, be a bit more free?
I wanted Idris Elba.
I can totally see.
Literally, I just wanted, and it's not even the real Idris Elba. I wanted the guy who's in the skit on the BBC, who's like, I am Idris Elba. So, and he's like, I'm Idris Elba. I can do anything I want. I can cure cancer. I'm Idris Elba. I'm a barista. I'm a DJ. So that's what I wanted. And so we actually had another person playing Skelly at the beginning. And it was, I don't know if you guys know him, it was Carlo Malay. He is on Facebook. He does a lot of funny things. And actually, I had him as Skelly, and he recorded like for the not the teaser, but for the shoot, what did we call it? For the just like the sit down talk and tell what Skelly is about. So we actually had a whole different Skelly, and then that ended up falling through just because we had a falling out. And I had started Skelly, and I had said, I want no negativity in this project. I said, if it can be avoided, I don't want any negativity. So then I did hold auditions for Skelly, and Richard came through, and Richard was the second, if not first. He was the first, then Jalen was the second choice for Skelly. But I wanted it to make, Jalen had auditioned for so many characters, and he had got so many characters. I mean, I think Jalen is like 4 characters in this show. He had just become so many characters. I was like, I'm just going to give you vocal rest. You know, but Richard came in, knocked it out of the park. I love him. And I think he and Lakira really do vibe off each other. So I like that I think that they can both vibe off each other, and it just works.
Nice, that's just wonderful. I did have a kind of a previous question, a bit for kind of the Skelly crew in general, because we have talked about the Beetlejuice show and a lot of stuff that Kayla liked. Were you introduced to any of that stuff, or were you already kind of aware of like kind of the vibe they were going for? Because some of the shows are a bit more not like niche, but like they weren't like the big Batman the Animated Series shows of like stuff like Beetlejuice and like, you know, Clone High. Well, I guess Clone High got popular during COVID, but were you already familiar with that, or was that something that you like you got shown?
Honestly, I have never watched the animated series for Beetlejuice, but I've watched the movies. Clone High, I didn't watch. I watched bits and pieces of the Batman animated series, which I need to watch all the way through because it's so good.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I first auditioned, I didn't know I didn't know the inspirations behind this series. So this is new information for me. But it makes sense. I'm like, okay, Beetlejuice and Lydia, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Getting that information today.
Yeah, I think I told Lycaira, like Daria. Daria was an
Yes,
inspiration as
Daria.
well.
Hmm.
So I left that part out. Daria was an inspiration as well.
I can see that. Yeah, definitely.
Now you're really dating yourself.
I know, I'm really dating myself.
And God, speaking of that uh, who was the guy? The guy who made Daria, Mike Judge. I'm not sure if he did the Daria show, but like now he's doing like a whole King of the Hill revival thing as well. Just
Oh my gosh, and I love King of the Hill. Nobody cannot recite anything from there. I love King of the Hill.
yeah. When did it? It went. It was the '90s, I think. God, 30 years. I think from when it first aired, but yeah, still pretty good. Oh yeah, speaking of, because I have seen some people respond to Skelly's design himself. When you designed Skelly, did you think he was going to get kind of like be associated with the Tumblr sexy man kind of craze? Just
No, and because I'm dating myself, no, I didn't even know what that was when I designed him. I just knew that I wanted him to have suspenders and have a tie.
Mhm.
And I knew I wanted him to have kind of a Cockney British voice. So I don't know where everybody is finding the Tumblr sexy man in it, but every time I show him, everybody's like, "Girl, you knew what you were doing," and I was like, "Really didn't. I didn't know what." I was like, "He's bones.
Mhm.
There's nothing sexy about that."
Yeah.
But I see it now. I
Mhm.
see it now, and I do capitalize on it because I'm like, let's do some Skelly prints.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, skeleton characters are always just fun to design and animate of like characters like infamously Jack Skellington, but also like Book of Life or uh Dr. Phosphorus from like Creature Commandos now. Like it's a very
Yeah.
big kind of craze. And the video game, Undertale, like those guys.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Phosphorus doing the dance and Creature Commandos, that was the
Yeah.
best.
Weird Eastern European representation, but you know what? We'll take it. Just
Right, I'll take it.
uh, oh god, yeah, but yeah, oh yeah, as mentioned before, you have done Kickstarters in the past, and you've actually had a successful Kickstarter, even though you have had some hiccups. What like as you went through this Kickstarter, especially like as something that has succeeded, what was like kind of the big lesson you took away from that? Like, was it a threatening thing to get into? Did you need like a lot of support for the Kickstarter, both like people on your crew, like getting it out there about like financially and stuff like that?
Yeah, Kickstarter is one of those things where this was my first, well, second Kickstarter ish. I usually lean towards Indiegogo because once you get the money, you get the money and you can run. Not
Yeah.
saying, scam people, but you get the money and you can do and start working with. Kickstarter was a whole nother animal, and we tried on BackerKit. BackerKit just wasn't working for us. The algorithm for BackerKit just wasn't great. Um, and going into Kickstarter, I'm not going to say that Kickstarter is the end all be all and that it's super great. There were definitely hiccups there. I think a lot of people have experienced, even towards Galaxy's End, has experienced the same thing where you get people who spam or scam and give you these
Mhm.
big large amounts and then they take it away. And so you think you're funded and you're not. So that's a huge hiccup within the Kickstarter infrastructure. And I've spoken to the CEO because I was also friends with the CEO of Kickstarter. We got to know him.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I was like, please, please fix this. This is not cool because a lot of people are going to end up ending their campaigns, which I always say, let it run its course. Don't ever end it before it's time because people will think you're not as serious about it as you should be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Oh god, maybe 2 years ago I had a similar issue with that on Kickstarter myself. One day I'll go back to it, but it's too
it stings. It
yeah.
stings. And we were down to the wire biting our nails because I was watching it and I have this little monitor on the side where I just watch Kickstarter. And I will tell anybody who does that, do not do that to yourself. You will drive yourself insane. It's not good for your mental. And I will say Kickstarter is not for the faint-hearted. Like, if you're going to do a Kickstarter, make sure that you are ready. And by I mean ready, I mean you've done 2 years worth of marketing, or you just have a good following. And I will say I gained the following from Kickstarter, and a lot of the voice actors that were connected, and the animators and everybody else who were connected, they were doing the promotions and everything on Twitter. So definitely big shout out to all of them for helping me promote, because without them we wouldn't have made it. And I realized that talking to the CEO, you always want to get on projects we love. A lot of people didn't know about the forward funds, which that is a resource that Kickstarter has, that if you get approved, they'll give you a percentage of your goal. So a lot of people don't know about that. I tried to tell everybody, apply for the forward funds. If it applies to you, do it. And a lot of people don't understand that you need to pretty much schedule a post every day. Even if you don't check it every day, schedule a post at least every day about it, like every hour. You got to be annoying, because you're just not going to get it. And don't depend on family. Family is just, they're not going to be there for you. And I'm not saying that family isn't great. Family is always great, but just, oh yeah, word of mouth to my family. Your family's going to be like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. I'm totally behind it, but I'm not going to give you money for it, you know? And I would definitely, for me, I've kind of felt like it's who you know, how far you get funded. Like, if you have someone big backing you, a la Lackadaisy had Spike Trotman, you know, Lackadaisy already had a huge following to begin with, so I'm not going to knock that. They had a huge following. So they had two of the big things that we needed, and then they got a third by having someone really back them who knew that what they were doing, and it was a big name. So they caught a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I commend them for it. I mean, I wish I was half of what Lackadaisy could be. But I go back to what I said before. My own journey, my own path, the Skeleton Crew we're forging our own path through this.
Yeah. I do also remember listening to a podcast by the Lackadaisy crew, God, like maybe 4 years ago, whenever the pilot came out. But the two creators, Fables and Tracy, talked about, like, we have been working on this for 2 decades as a total. So it's like, don't expect every indie project to, like, you know, kind of look like this.
Right.
Yeah. As someone who is like just, I don't know, jumped off a building with like paper wings, I can speak from experience. Indie animation is very tough.
It is. It's a whole new animal, but I like what it's turning out to be right now with the landscape, because regular animation, and I think Kelly can speak to it, regular animation right now is in a big crap
interesting area. Yeah. That's,
you know?
It's also kind of an ordeal me and what my animators talk about, because I don't animate anymore. I do designs at most, but every now and then it's just like he'll share with me a piece of news about the animation studio he's working at, and then like it's just like a good 10 minutes of trauma dumping on me, which is like, I'll take it. It's good. It's rough out there, but it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how Kelly and I met. We had a digital coffee where we were just talking just about the animation landscape, and, you know, we got to know each other, and, you know, I told her, I said, hey, I'd love to have you on the Skeleton Crew. Please come. And she has a lot of stories to share. So
yeah, it's been a crazy landscape right now, and it's mostly the U.S. Animation market. I mean, Australia is blowing up. Canada is trickling because mostly they're supported by the outsourcing from the U.S. But even they're having to close a lot of studios up there because one, it costs so much to live up there, and also they're probably siphoning off of the tax incentives. So once that's gone, you know, the studios will just jump to someplace else that they don't have to pay union rates.
Yeah, no, it's a whole like pay with like how scary some of the animation stuff, which is why I'm always like here whenever they're like there's something a bit more new out there when it comes to like a big studio and it is like a big success of stuff like like common side effects, or like how big Has Been Hotel's gotten, or like the whole what's a new Haunted Hotel too. Like that got really, like it got a second season, which is so cool because it's
That's a
kind of
great show.
scary. Yeah, the lack of yeah, I've had a lot of fun with Haunted Hotel. Just
It's a great show. I love it.
yeah, but it is definitely it's a bit scary right now when it comes to animation. But like that is why projects like Skelly are so important. But also something that, as you can see through the poster on here, Skelly has been nominated to film festivals and has gotten success. Have you seen like a growth in your fan base, or maybe just uh like more connections arise through like, you know, submitting and being more out there with Skelly, of like going to film festivals and cons and stuff like that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. There's people coming up to me who are like, I love Skelly, and I'm like, I didn't even know you knew about it. Yeah, so definitely been a lot of new connections. And recently I just went to the Black Film Fest. I was a finalist in the pitch contest, the logline pitch contest. So that was definitely new, and it opened up a whole new chapter of connections that Skelly could, you know, tap into. And now I'm part of the Gotham group, you know, and I can find representation if I wanted to. But definitely, I tell anybody, even if it's a little small film fest on Film Freeway, apply. Because literally the only thing I showed was the theme song.
Ooh.
And so far we won 12 awards off the theme song alone. So I haven't even submitted our pilot that is coming out, you know.
They're
12 awards alone.
They're
I'm
not
just
even
like,
ready.
wow.
What's gonna be? Yeah.
Right. So yeah, a lot of connections. But even though I've made the connections, I like to stay very humble. You know, I just think that it's like, stay humble. I've made the connections, and I've told everybody, and everybody on this call, part of my crew, they all know that they can come out and reach out to me at any point. You know, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be down in the trenches with them. You know, anything I can do to help, that's what I got to do. And I don't gatekeep. So I like to help anybody if I can.
Yeah, no, I love that about you. That's actually how we met initially, because I think it started as just like Twitter DMs. It's just like I just kind of approached you like, hey, I really like a project, and just like seeing the support that you also have for the other in the animation community, and like talking to other people, but also your like very outspoken praise to other like indie shows, both like, you know, big and small, has been like so cool. And like I think that is also part of the reason why Skelly has gotten such a following as of late, especially with like how many people, you know, like part of your skeleton crew, like the people in your closet. There's a better way to phrase that.
Well, I am just not going to sit here, and I'm not going to badmouth anybody's indie project, because like we all are in this together. And I feel like that's kind of where some of the dissension came from in the animation, you know, and I don't want to say the real animation world, but you know, in the newer world, I feel like that's where a lot of dissension came from, because that is how everybody is programmed. Oh, I work for Disney, so I can't give any information to anybody at Warner Brothers or here, you know. And you know, we could have spent a lot of that time saying, oh, I work for Warner Brothers, but oh, there's also this show here on Disney that you might like, you know. So that's what I try to do. Like, I try to stay humble, and I still try to promote everybody. And yeah, I do talk about the big three, because they know they're the big three, you know, Lackadaisy, Glitch, and Has Been. They know they're the big three. They know their stance, you know. But I want people to know, don't stop just because you can't be in that big three arena right now. Your time is coming. And I mean, anybody in the chat or anybody in our Discord can tell you, there are days where I have to have somebody snap me out of it. You know, sometimes I compare myself. I think I just compared myself to somebody else, you know, and I have to realize this is just not what we do. Like, I'm totally different, you know.
Yeah, it's a great level of like knowing thyself when you make art and all that. Oh, on Kelly?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna add like all tides raise all boats. So
Yeah.
like we're all in this together, and there's also a big divide between, you know, the animation industry and indie, and that's also why I'm trying to be more active in indie, is to bridge that gap, because it's really based on ignorance, really, and especially since more people have access to the more technology, and it's becoming, and I think like Flow really changed the landscape as
Oh,
well, but it's also a double-edged sword. But you know, people need to realize there's more stories to tell than what the big box studios want to tell.
Mhm.
And I think like Shelley is a great example of like being able to tell that and not being, you know, processed into that box.
Yeah. We have had this discussion before. Like, this is a very popular, like, kind of Hollywood discussion as of like when people sometimes complain, like, well, they make new movies. It's like they do, but the thing is that like it's tough to get that notice because there is such a like strong marketplace with what is the mainstream stuff. But it's like this art exists and it's going to be out there and it is going to be for people. And it will have a connection. It's just like to a degree, you just have to go and find it. It's just
Right. Or we're going to keep doing the same IP over and over and over again. And I don't know about y'all. I'm tired of it.
yeah.
I'm just tired of it. Keep trolls, though. Keep doing more troll movies.
Yeah.
But everything else,
Mhm.
let's reboot.
Yeah. I remember God, what was his name? Johnny Two. Is it Celos or Chelos? He's an animation guy. He talks about King of the Hill a lot.
Oh, I don't know.
Long hair. He's white. He does I think he does a podcast with Terrific Traffic.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah.
don't know
I
how
think
to
he knows his face, but
pronounce
he was
his
talking
name.
about like he's like, I love King of the Hill and Futurama, but it's like I am glad that we can get stuff like Lackadaisy out here now too.
Right.
Yeah, especially with how out there kind of the stuff can be. I think it's a humbling experience when you make art, but also I think as kind of mentioned previously before, you've talked about and you have been open about Skelly and Sarah and how it deals with aspects of burnt out and like mental health issues and stuff like that. And like, was there like did you relate yourself to that as like an artist, or was it more so of just like this is an interesting thing to explore, or was it something that like kind of developed as you've gotten older and started to develop Skelly more?
Oh no, this was something that I totally can relate to. So I like to write with what I know, and I like to tell everybody it's how I phrase it. Either I was a suicide survivor or I was a suicide mistaker, and I didn't do it right. So I always tell everybody knows my story about that, and I will tell anybody to this day. I have dealt with depression, I have dealt with mental health, and so I write about what I know. And now even it's changed again because now it's still mental health, but now I have a child involved. So it's like sometimes I get really down, and you're like, what do you do? And you're like, oh, the kid is there. And I love my child, don't get me wrong, I love my kiddo, but sometimes you just get down. So yeah, no, mental health and burnout, these are all things that I know and I write about. So it's nothing where I'm just like, oh, I'm happy go lucky, let me go find somebody who's written about burnout and find out what they're going through and try to write it. No, this is all real, all flesh, all nerves. Everything from me is pushed into this.
Yeah. I think that is also the benefit of indie animation, because I think it would be tougher to do this for a more like public cartoon. Not to say there aren't cartoons that talk about this occasionally, but it's like it would be tough to get this out there to a studio unless it's
Right.
like proven to be successful.
Right.
I would like to ask the Skelly crew of like, was there a message in Skelly that like drew you to this project, or like themes that also like kind of really grabbed you as you started to work on it more?
I kind of feel like I was drawn to the burnout. I kind of relate to Sarah as far as like burning out and kind of like having to rediscover yourself, because I'm currently kind of going through that. After working for Disney for like over 10 years, and now like everybody seems to like ghost you. One of the drawbacks of being at one studio your whole career is that like your network is pretty much just there. And I think about like the people that work on South Park that have worked there for like 20 years. It's like that's all they've ever known, and but could they get a job somewhere else, without having an extensive network. So that's how I relate to it.
I don't know if, well, obviously what Sarah is going to going through is very different than what I go through off and on. But I get really in my head about career stuff, and I'm going through imposter syndrome all the time. Well, not all the time, but like it when I'm not booking as consistently with voice acting. I'm like, doubting myself and really in my head about things. So I really feel like I connect with Sarah when it comes to like the burnout of it all. And I think that message really drew me into the series, and being kind of excited to see what happens for her. I'm hoping that she learns how to deal with her problems, because I feel like that probably would resonate a lot with me. I'm really excited to see where her story leads to.
Meanwhile, Kayla's the one who knows like exactly where it can go. She knows how bad.
And I want to tell everybody.
I know the extent, but not like that much.
I think for me, sorry, it came in a little bit late.
You're totally good.
I just I'm very new to the whole indie animation side, so what caught my eye first was about seeing, I guess, Black representation in terms of mental health in the animation series, because you really don't get to see that even on the mainstream side. And me, I'm going through my motions through my mental health, and I'm kind of newish to that as well. So I think it caught me at the right time, at the right place and stuff like that. So seeing that representation and seeing that, yes, Black people do have mental health issues, and it's not really talked about, especially in this country. So that really kind of drew me in.
I do think that's the strength.
I have another point.
Oh, go on.
So, adding on to Christina's point, there's a big stigma in the Black community that like you're not crazy, or you shouldn't go to therapy because there's nothing wrong with you, especially like because there's a stigma that you're different if you express that you're feeling depressed. Or one of the common things is like, what do you have to be depressed for? You have a house over your head, you got food. So it's nice to see that the representation of mental health and in the Black community. So I think this is a good show to
Yeah, I hope your dad is not like my dad, where I'm like, I think I'm depressed, and my dad's like, the whole damn world's depressed, and I was like, oh, all right.
So,
like, all right, Dad.
I think that is the strength of indie animation, more to find community like that. Friend of the show and like frequent guests. I'm not sure if you know about them. Z, the creator of Captain Zero. That's the whole theme with Captain. Well, it's not the whole theme. There's multiple things, but it's a noble theme in Captain Zero. And they have talked about like the fact that like if they went to like a studio, this would be very tough to like get off the ground. So it's like for now, this is the benefit of indie amateur. But at the same time, like God, he got Keith David. They got Keith David on that show, so that's so cool too.
But I think that's what people want to see. It's hard. They say it's hard to sell to a studio, but if studios actually listened, it's what people want to see.
It is the thing of like it has to be proven first, which kind of sucks. But like, One day we'll have more adult animated shows that aren't just like Family Guy clones and ripoffs.
Oh my god, I'm sick of those.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh god, yeah, so totally. Okay. Yeah, I got few more questions before we wrap this up. I think one's the most notable. Let me start with this. Where's the best place for people to support Kelly, either financially or just getting the word out, or just like where they can watch like clips and like previews of Skelly?
Oh yeah, you can definitely watch previews and little we have little shorts. You can watch them on the YouTube channel. It's
Mhm.
youtube.com. Kayla Geth, Geth. I know I really need to get a Skelly branded one, but I have a lot of followers there and don't want to rebrand. Um Definitely always support us on Twitter. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. If you guys want to throw some money my way, that would be great. I have a GoFundMe out there. We also have a Patreon where you guys can see stuff behind the scenes before anybody else sees it. We just reached 10 followers, which was our goal 2 months ago, but we just reached it. Yay! But yeah, we're everywhere. So follow us, Skelly Crew on X. On Instagram, we're skelly.animation. So yeah, and GoFundMe.
Mhm. Very nice. So I got two more questions for everyone. The first one is like we're just going to go through the cycle. What's a project that's coming up you're looking forward to, and what's a good Halloween movie that you're like looking forward to?
I don't know. They can take it first. I have to think about mine.
Mm, I'm really looking forward to watching Skelly when it comes out on
Always
Halloween. um, Now movies, I'm not sure. I'm
Mhm.
kind of interested in watching the new Black Phone movie. I watched the first one. I really enjoyed that for Halloween. Spooky, scary.
Oh, do you say Black Phone?
Mhm.
Yes, Black Phone.
Oh yeah, I watched that last night. I love Black Phone. It was very good. I
Yes.
wonder what the second one's like.
Mhm. But written by Stephen King's kid, Joe Hill. He looks exactly like
Yes.
Stephen King, like Stephen King in the 70s, where he had like the weird ponytail and the thick beard.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why he just doesn't go by King. Like Steve. I guess he just
I
separates
think he doesn't
himself.
want to be like associated as a nepo baby, but he's a good
Right.
writer.
I totally like accept all of that. Yes, I'm a Nepo baby. Yes.
Don't you know who my father is?
Yeah, that's a pretty big shadow to live in.
Right. Don't you know
That's
who my
true.
father is? We could buy you out.
Yeah.
No.
I think he probably did some ghostwriting too, so that he
Mm,
didn't have to go by that too.
yeah. Yeah. Also came out same year as
Mhm.
Unlock, another King project, the King family name.
Oh, I gotta see that. I still haven't watched it.
It's good and
I
sad.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch the movie I'm gonna watch for Halloween again. And I hope to stream it is Chainsaw Massacre, but it's the one where he turns into where he becomes Leatherface.
Mhm.
That's the only one I like, which I everyone says it's bad, but I like the psychology behind
Yeah,
stuff
the
like that.
Leatherface.
Just like
Yeah.
Ed Gein. I like the psychology.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I love the second movie just because it has a line in that I repeat so much. If I have like, get that, yeah, dog will hunt. Dog will hunt. I quote that so often to my friends,
yeah.
and none of them get it. It's just dog will hunt.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the prequel series from It that's coming
Oh
out.
yeah, welcome to
Yes.
Derry.
Oh
Me
Yeah,
yeah.
Welcome to Derry. That should be really good.
Yes. Now it scares me. I can't watch the movies, but I will watch that prequel.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I just want to ask everyone. We were starting with Kayla, but if you could have your audience or just your fan base take one thing away from Skelly, whether it's the themes or the characters, what's the lasting impression you want people to have?
I want people to feel and lasting impression. I want people to know that they're not alone in
Mhm.
this. and that mental illness is real. Just like Lakira said, in the Black community, we're called crazy. I know my own parents have said, don't go to the doctor and tell them about all your problems because they're going to lock you up. And your son doesn't need to see that. Not very much the support of, hey, we're here for you. So I want people to know that somebody is here for them. The whole crew is here for them, and that it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm. Kelly?
Yeah, I like that sentiment too, that it's okay not to be okay theme. And, I find that it's resident within the animation community as well. It's like we have to acknowledge that what's going on in our industry is not okay, but we also have to acknowledge that we need to evolve to what the scenery is going to be next, and it's not going to be something governed by the big studios. It's going to be taken over by more boutique, more niche, and crowdfunding is going to be really big because the studios aren't telling the stories that people want to hear, and so it's reflected in this.
That's so good. Yeah, it's a very important thing right now.
I think Vivi had a question or a statement.
Oh yeah, go on, Viv.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing. In terms of the previous question about what resonated with me,
Yeah,
but
yep.
also like comments on Skelly, I think I didn't realize it was about Sarah and being in a career that she feels uncertain about and her identity, like finding herself as well. I think a lot of artists go through that sense of like how Lakira said, impersonation type thing where you feel like it's an imposter syndrome, like how can I be here and like is this the right place for me? Am I doing the right things? And there's times where you kind of lose yourself and you're kind of uncertain in who you are, and also like mental health and people telling you like, no, this is crazy, you shouldn't go for this, you should go for something else. And ultimately there's a part of you that just knows this is where I should be. There's a part of you that feels that sense of connection when you realize that like you're enough. So that was something that resonated with me with Skelly personally.
Me personally, I'm really hoping that people could open their hearts to more diverse stories in the indie sphere, because a lot of the times they attach to certain franchises, and that's okay, but try to give um a chance to indie that's less up there with the the big dogs. And you never know, you might resonate with the stories that people have to tell. And you don't necessarily have to look like the characters that you're watching to resonate and relate to them.
Very good.
I'm really hoping Skelly can find their its audience.
Yeah, it seems to already have it. Well, a lot of it, but yeah, even more. Skelly across the nation.
Yes. Let Skelly take over.
Yes.
Yes.
Christina?
Let's see, question. I just hope that people understand that Skelly is pretty much here to stay. At this point, and hope that people understand that, like I said, it's here to stay.
Nice.
It has a lot to offer. There's elements of like working in corporate America, understanding mental health, in a way, embracing it in a way, that you're not alone. It's just this give Skelly a chance. That's the only thing I can think of at this
The
moment.
wonderful thing. But yeah, God, thank you all so much for showing up on my probably my only Halloween project of the year. I wanted to get something out, but life came in the way. But that was so good. All links to support Skelly as usual will be down below in both description, but also the text. I am Greyworks. I'm the creator of Howling Hoods, Entangled, and Rapunzel. Wait, and Miss Manhattan, and some horror shorts I think you've seen. But thank you all so much for coming on. This was very fun. Thank you for the catch up again, Kayla. It's always great to have you. It's always great to talk about animation, but also just like rambling about just cartoons that only you and I are interested in.
Yes. And thank you for having us. We definitely appreciate it. I speak for the whole Skelly crew. Thank you.
No problem. And as mentioned, as before, you can find Skelly on Twitter, on X, on Blue Sky, on YouTube, and all those links will be down below. Please support it, even though they are funded. Animation is still very, very expensive. So any support you can, even if it's just sharing, will help a ton. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming on. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.